Aurora's professional journey. I began working in early childhood education many moons ago. I was in high school and my guidance counselor suggested I take a class where we would have the opportunity to learn how to be a preschool teacher because I told her I thought I may be interested in a teaching career. I thought, why not? I like to babysit and I like working with children, so it sounds like a fun class to add to my schedule. When I started this class in high school, I'll admit I wasn't thinking about my philosophy. I was simply following what the teacher taught us, enjoyed observing and planning activities, and building relationships with children and families. I found myself becoming passionate about working with children and even found a part-time job in my senior year as an after-school assistant for the YMCA. When high school ended, I received an academic award from my teacher and felt this was a sign to continue my pursuit in working with children. After graduation, I remained local and went to Manchester Community College for early childhood education. And there is where I began to learn about philosophers and their philosophies, but never really thought of molding my own personal teaching philosophy. I remember my student teaching class, my professor did mock interviews. She was pushing us forward in our careers in early childhood education and asked us questions that as an early childhood educator we should know well and be confident in. One of the questions she asked us was, "What is your philosophy?" I immediately froze. I had no idea how to answer this question. Is an employer really going to ask me this? So I thought to fake it until I make it. My strategy was to answer that question, still get the job, was just to pick a philosopher and go off of that. However, I knew as an educator, as a person who is passionate in working with children, and as a professional, I could not fake it until I make it with a question like that. I had to dig deep and discover what I personally believed in when it comes to being a child's educator, mentor, advocate, and caregiver. Through experiences and learning throughout my college career and my professional working career, I have discovered that my philosophy in answer to that question doesn't come from memorizing a textbook, but within me and what I believe when it comes to children, families, and community. My inspiration and guidance has come from many philosophers, professors, and experiences. It still evolves as I experience new teachings or situations working with children and families. However, throughout my MCC learning, the spark of thinking about what my philosophy is, to the information of knowledge and learning throughout the years at Goodwin, I have been enlightened on my beliefs as an early childhood educator. One experience that has shaped my beliefs was an observation we had to do for our anti-bias education course. I had the opportunity to observe at a well-known accredited center. When I explained to the director and the teachers what I would be looking for in my observation, the director was not confident in the classroom's whereabouts of anti-bias education and admitted to not knowing much about maintaining an anti-bias classroom. I was shocked to hear that from a director. In my observations, I found some key components and I also saw missing key components. Our book for that class, Anti-Bias Education for Young Children and Ourselves, really opened my mind up about how important it is to include all children and be aware of our own bias, whether they are intentional or not. One quote from the text that has influenced my strong belief of making sure we reflect on our own biases and be intentional about our teaching and materials is, quote, "The toys, materials, equipment you put out for children, the posters, pictures, and art objects you hang on the wall, and the types of furniture and how you arrange them all influence what children learn. What children do not see in the classroom teaches children as much as what they do see." End quote. German, Sparks, and Olson Edwards, 2010, page 161. In looking with anti-bias eyes, we can all make children feel welcomed, appreciated, and important in their learning environment, and that is how children will learn best. I also believe it includes the family and together appreciating one another. This will help build trusting relationships where children will